the spring of 1985, inside a small forgotten church in northern Italy, something happened that would change an ordinary man's life forever. Renato Baron was not a priest, not a mystic, and not a famous religious figure. He was simply the caretaker of a small village church, a quiet man who spent his days repairing things, cleaning the sanctuary, and praying before a simple statue of the Virgin Mary. But one afternoon, while kneeling in prayer before that statue, Renato suddenly felt his body growing weak, as though life itself was leaving him. The church around him seemed to disappear, the sounds faded, the world fell silent. And then something impossible happened. The statue of the Virgin Mary began to move. Terrified, Renato ran from the church in shock, but what he had witnessed that day was only the beginning, because the following day, when he returned to that same church, the Virgin Mary appeared again, and this time, she came with a message that would lead thousands of people to climb that small hill to pray, a message that spoke of faith, suffering, and a call for the world to return to love. It is I am Mary, I am Our Lady. It is I who truly speaks to you. Take what I say seriously, and from now on, you will write down all my words. I will prepare you. One day you will speak, but in the meantime, you must wait. You must prepare your spirit, because we will journey on a journey of faith. I will prepare friends for you, apostles who love Mary. I will send them to you, and you will travel a long way with them, because together we must convert many souls and bring them to Jesus. This time, when the experience ended, Renato did not run away. Instead, he felt an immense joy filling his heart. Still trembling, he returned to the church door. He did not have the courage to enter again. Instead, he knelt on the threshold and remained there for nearly an hour, praying and weeping with joy. Deep within his heart, he had become convinced that the Virgin Mary had truly appeared to him. Yet carrying such a secret was heavy. After several days, he finally gathered the courage to tell the one person he trusted most, his wife. His wife listened thoughtfully, yet the story was so extraordinary that she struggled to understand it. One troubling thought crossed her mind. What if this experience was not from heaven at all? Concerned for his safety, she suggested something simple and wise. Perhaps he should return to the church with holy water and bless the place, just in case something spiritual but dangerous was involved. Renato then went to a nearby church run by friars, filled a small bottle with holy water, and returned to the church of San Martino. Standing once again before the statue of the Virgin Mary, he prepared to bless it. He placed the holy water into a bucket and knelt down. But as he lifted his hand to make the blessing, the Virgin Mary appeared again. Renato heard her speak within the vision, telling him that it was not he who should bless her, but that she herself had come to bless him. She encouraged him not to be afraid and warned that a time would come when many people would climb that hill to pray. She also told him that not everyone would believe his story, but he must endure patiently and pray for those who doubted. This apparition occurred on April 2nd, 1985. From that day forward, Renato believed with certainty that the Virgin Mary had chosen him for a mission. Beginning the next day, she started giving him messages and asked him to write them down and share them with the world. At first, the apparitions happened inside the church of San Martino, where the statue of Our Lady of the Rosary seemed to come alive during the visions. Later, the apparitions also occurred in other places, in Renato's own home during prayer meetings, in a small crypt used for gatherings, and even on a nearby hill known as Monte di Cristo. When the Virgin Mary appeared outside the church, Renato described her standing with bare feet and arms raised towards heaven, as though interceding for humanity. The apparitions did not follow a regular schedule, but the messages continued. During the early months, those helping Renato wondered what title should be given to the Virgin Mary in these apparitions. Since the statue in the church represented Our Lady of the Rosary, many believed that should be a name. But on November 28, 1985, Mary herself revealed the title she desired. She asked to be known as the Queen of Love. I am the Queen of Love. If you love one another, you will be close to the Father. Love and charity, endless prayer. Walk the streets of the world announcing the kingdom of the Father without tiring. Whoever saves a brother will save himself. Love, and you will be loved. I will not abandon you. I bless you. Now, I would like your commitment to the elderly. Join forces. Together, you will build a great home. You will welcome the abandoned, the lonely, and you will welcome the priests. Begin. I will send you workers and resources to support it. You will call it the work of love. Give all your love. You too will enjoy its fruits. As the years passed, the messages began to inspire real works. In 1993, on the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, the first center of what became known as the Little Work was opened. Its purpose was to train young people to live and spread the message of love, prayer, and faith. An old villa not far from the church of San Martino was purchased and restored. The once overgrown park surrounding it was cleaned and transformed into a place of prayer. It became the headquarters of the work of love. On a nearby hill, Renato and his companions placed crosses marking the stations of the Way of the Cross. At the summit, they built a stone altar with the statues of Jesus and the Virgin Mary overlooking the land below, but unusual signs continued to occur. In November of 1986, the crucifix in the prayer room of Renato's home suddenly began to release a strong and beautiful fragrance that filled the entire house. Soon afterward, one of the crosses on the hill, made from 2 trunks of acacia wood, also began giving off the same mysterious perfume. Even when people tried to clean the cross, the scent remained, clinging to their hands and cloths. That cross was even stolen by unknown individuals, but after a brief search, it was discovered abandoned near a fence, as though those who took it had been forced to flee. Another striking event occurred in December of 1987. Near the prayer house stood a small statue of the infant Jesus that had come from Bethlehem. On December the 28th, witnesses reported that the statue's eyes began to shed tears, and the tears continued flowing for nearly 5 hours. After 4 days, Our Lady appeared and said, "Jesus weeps with me for the great indifference of man. He sees every soul, every heart sees, but hearts, souls are far from him. Stay close to him. My voice is not enough to call. Let his tears bathe his arid humanity. Oh, this proud generation with its hardened hearts will weep. This proud generation will weep. Listen to me, my children." On November the 1st, 1995, in Monte Cristo, Our Lady showed Renato a vision of purgatory. He described purgatory as an immense and solemn place filled with countless souls undergoing purification before entering the presence of God. Their souls there were not lost. They were on their way to heaven, but they were waiting, longing for the help of the living. Among the many souls in purification, he saw some finally rise towards heaven. With the help of the Virgin Mary and through the prayers offered on earth, they were freed and allowed to see the face of God. He described it as a triumph of mercy. Renato said the number of souls waiting in purgatory was immense, far greater than most people could imagine. Many were simply waiting for prayers, for masses, for acts of charity offered on their behalf. According to what he experienced, the souls in purgatory cannot pray for themselves anymore in the same way we can. They depend on the prayers of those still living. He explained that if the world truly understood this mystery and prayed more often for the dead, many souls would quickly reach heaven. Renato also spoke of how purification could begin, even here on earth, through repentance, sacrifice, and sincere prayer. Those who turn fully to God now may shorten or even avoid that painful passage after death. But in his visions, there was also hope. He said the Virgin Mary watches over the souls who suffer in purification, guiding them, comforting them, and leading them toward the moment when they will finally enter the glory of God. For many believers, these events became powerful signs connected to the messages given to Renato Baron by the one who called herself the Queen of Love.